Wednesday again. July the 16th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's a social production. Thank you for coming back. If you're just joining us today, buckle down. Let's get a sip of this coffee over here. The old throaty throat is a little bit dry. Moisten it up, loop it up. It is another Wednesday. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, mi familia, Wagwan, down south, in the United States of America, further down south, Mexico, South America, over there, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, all around the world, wherever you are, Zimbabwe, Senegal, Portugal, over there in Chad, Nigeria, over there in Egypt, over there in Serbia, in Thailand, Indonesia, India, over there, all around the world. You get it. Moist, underwater. It's floating above water, hovering wherever you're hovering. You're in a cave. You're deep diving. Doesn't matter. Just want to let you know we do have a special guest who's going to be just flying by. I've been keeping a fly alive in the compound, if you will, in the studio for some time now, at least 5 days. I don't know how it's still alive. It's a fast one. I've not made as many attempts to catch this one or, eliminate it. It's we've got a relationship going on right now. It respects my little, when I'm sleeping, it's fine. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't come in my face as of yet. But I'm just saying, if you do catch a fly just whizzing by, don't mind him or her. I don't know its sex. He or she will not share his sex gender with me. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's a lot of this just rubbing the old palms and just plotting shit. That's how flies are. Always come and sit on your knee. They just want to tell you so much, but just been planning something. We got to make it happen together. Get out of here. That's neither here or there, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, let us have a little bit of fun, shall we? Let us get together and enjoy the time that we have together as a community, as a family, as a gang, syndicate. 'Cause it's Wednesday again. Yeah. What's going on in and around the world, ladies and gentlemen? I'll say this. We are not a fan of conceited people. We are not a fan of selfish individuals or even groups of people. I'll say this right now. If it's not been made clear, let us be crystal, shall we? I'm not talking about a female who happens to be named Crystal. Let us be clear, transparent. Let us be ultraviolet if we can together. Let us pull together and just take a moment and notice what is going on in the world. I'll say this. It breaks my heart to see people stoop so low for attention, for a little bit of a chance to say, to puff out their chests and walk around with a sense of, what am I talking about? Thank you. I'm glad you asked. A group of lifeguards in Florida. Yeah, these guys were captured. Images, recordings have been surfacing on the interwebs. They've been going around. There was a deer that allegedly got lost in the ocean or was drowning in the ocean, allegedly. And all of a sudden, these so-called lifeguards went ahead in the water. They dove in the water, Baywatch style, titties bouncing, hips gyrating, elbows up, tucked into the side, knees up high. Sand, all in in the nooks and crannies, chafing, probably happening. Sunscreen, most likely applied prior to all the running. Nonetheless, they dove in the water, they jumped in the water, went ahead and attempted and succeeded in rescuing the so-called deer. And for what? For what, ladies and gentlemen? And I'll tell you what, they had it's not so blatant, it's not so in your face. But the takeaway from all of this is that they were planning, they were conniving, scheming individuals involved in what some might call a master plan in order to get all the puss on the beach that day for themselves. Now it does break my heart because, frankly speaking, I know that there is plenty of puss to go around for everybody. You don't need to stoop so low as to go and find a drowning deer in the ocean and freak everybody out and rescue the said deer in order to come out and say, you know what, we're just talk of the town and we're the lifeguards. You can and melt hearts because you already are puss magnets out there as lifeguards. We know that. But guess what? They had to go and stoop even lower and rescue an innocent animal from the bodies of the water. That's it just gets to me. Did they succeed in getting all the puss that day? Maybe they did. We don't know, to be honest with you. I'm assuming they got a lot more than usual. Did they leave any behind? Sure, people walked by later in the day after the sun was getting closer to setting. Men walked the beach, jogged, hiked, tossed around a little frisbee, maybe a little pigskin action, go deep. How deep do you want it? Deeper! And they went deep, but only a few succeeded in getting puss, all thanks to the news surrounding the day that a few lifeguards attempted and succeeded in saving a so-called deer. And first of all, how'd the deer get in the ocean? Who put the deer in the ocean? Does this deer have, before you go out and rescue so-called animals from a body of water, ask yourself, do human animals not like to swim? The answer should be obvious. So are we not able to ask, maybe other animals perhaps want to take a dip? So before going out there rescuing the deer, maybe ask yourself what you did out there. You probably cock-blocked that deer from going for laps, for trying to get a little bit of moisture on his or her skin, trying to swim with the fishes a little bit. And these guys, I don't want to glorify this sort of behavior, but it's worth talking about because, yeah, it might have happened just one day and they succeeded. They got all the puss. All right, fine. You had all the puss that day. But there's plenty of other days around, ladies and gentlemen. Let this not be an instant where we say, you know what, when there's people out there getting all the puss to themselves, what chance do I have? Well, you've got a chance. Player to player, pimp to pimp. Get out there and walk them beaches, and who knows what opportunities you might come across. But yeah, these individuals, they got away with it. All is safe and sound. It's over and done with, but we can all learn something from this incident, and that is to not be selfish individuals, not just make it all about ourselves. All right, it's one thing to have muscles, but put them to good use. Selfish, conceited lifeguards. Nonetheless, we're happy the animals are okay. We're happy the deer is fine. God, nerve of these people. I'll share this little personal story that some of you might relate to out there. Your boy happens to, if you've been with me for some time, you might know this about me. You might not still know this about me, but guess what? You're gonna find out right now. What are we talking about? Your boy likes McDonald's. I'll eat a McDonald's every now and again. Sometimes I might eat several days in a row. If I'm getting brekkie, a little brekkie poo in the morning to get the day going, a little bacon, cheese, and eggs, yes please. Sometimes I do like to enjoy a little bit of if I'm out and about, take care of business, I might even grab me a little cheeseburger. Or they just introduced the cheeseburger deluxe, which has the lettuce and tomatoes and cheeses. It's just nicer. It's just better than a regular cheeseburger. And your boy every once in a while likes to treat himself to a small sized beverage, and I often like to go for a Coke. I'm not a big Coke drinker. I don't drink many Cokes in a year. I'll go through a period where I'll drink some or I'll eat some McDonald's and then I'll lay it off. It's not even anything premeditated. It's just something you feel like I want to grab a cheese. Nothing beats a cheeseburger and a Coke, and a small size Coke, but maybe even extra ice, because baby likes that ice. Baby likes the ice. I'm not talking about grills. I'm not talking about bling. I'm talking about ice, baby. Talking about refreshing ice. I'm talking about frozen H to the Izzo. Shit. But sometimes, things happen in the drive-thru. I recall even as a young man, one of my first jobs was at a McDonald's. And sometimes what you do is you give out free shit. Free shit, just, toss in a couple of nuggets. Toss in a couple of fries in there. A little bit of extra sauce. Get it in there. It's free. Make somebody's day. Put a smile on their face. Maybe hook up after. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. So your boy went into the drive-thru just a few days ago. Ordered himself a cheeseburger deluxe with a small Coke, thank you. Waited in line. Went up to the window. Paid for it. Now you drive up to the second window. Grab your shit. And I'm looking forward to this fucker. I'm looking forward to this burger. I'm like, yes. All day I've been looking forward to that cheeseburger. You know when you look forward, it's not anything big. It's one of McDonald's. That's what I like about McDonald's. Everybody eats it. It's not every day that you should eat it or eat it. Maybe you should. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to, to live your life. But I'm just saying, for me, when it's time to get a cheeseburger and a Coke, it's something I look forward to. It's the small things that count. I go there. I've already paid through the first window. I drive up to the second, and the lady works at the second window, hands me a bag. And it's a slightly bigger bag this time than what I'm used to for a single deluxe cheeseburger, because they got a small bag and they got a larger bag. She has me a larger bag. Immediately, internal light bulbs start going off. Lightning strikes. I think to myself, are we about to get treated to some little bit extra? What could it be? Could it be a little pie? Could be a little cream pie in there? Could it just be a little apple pie? Could it be, who knows? Could it be fries? Shit. Am I about to get hooked up with fries? Is this karmically coming back to me for all the fries I've given away? Is this fries just gonna make up just a little, is this gonna put a little bit of an extra sparkle in my eye for the rest of the day? I grab the bag and I peek inside. Oh, what do we have here? Oh my God, yes sir. It seems like your boy got an extra fries in there, and I'm looking excited. I'm like, oh shit, I should probably, now I'm like, all right. Immediately, this happens quick, and I'm thinking to myself, I should probably, make that gesture and, wink, nod, thank you. But also, I should ask, because I wasn't sure. I didn't look deep into the bag. I'm like, I should ask for extra ketchup. Because now I got fries now. I got fries to do, and I need extra ketchup. You know me, son. If there's anything you know about me, it's extra ketchup. In the puss, queefing extra ketchup. That's the kind of life we live. I turn to the window, a lady, I'm like, may I have a couple of extra? And I wasn't even able to finish the sentence. She's like, oh, I think I gave you the wrong bag. I'm like, I'm like, okay, fine, man. Fine. Here you go, thank you. Yes, it seems like there has been a mistake. This isn't mine. This order is not mine, clearly. Not doing anything nice, whatevs. I'll take my regular cheeseburger deluxe, and that's fine, because I know I've got my Coke. At least I've got my Coke. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. But it's not even a big deal. Not even a big deal. It'll come back. The fries will come back to you one day. It'll come back to you one day. Hand over the bag, get my bag. Go park for a second. I'm gonna enjoy this cheeseburger deluxe. I'm gonna take sips of my Coke, and then start biting into it. I'm like, a regular cheeseburger deluxe. Yes, this is nice. Let me wash it down with a couple of sips of Coke I've been looking forward to on a hot summer day. Take a sippy poo. I'm like, I'm nodding. This doesn't taste like Coke. And I've been chewing gum previously, so I'm just like, give it a couple of seconds, because you never know when mint and sody pop mix together. You're like, initially, is this Coke? And then I swallow it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where the story gets dark. This is where, if you've got youngins around, maybe it's time to put them to bed. If it's too early in the morning, then fucking put them to bed anyway. Maybe just send them off to boarding school so we can continue. If you've got heart conditions, please continue watching, because you gotta fucking work that little ticker. You know what I mean? Don't listen to the naysayers. Be careful of the activities. Be careful what you intake during the day. You don't want to get your heart rate up. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Them bitches out there don't know what they're talking about. Get that fucking heart rate up, baby. Get that RPM up. Right there on 5. The point is, baby boy took a sippy sip, and it wasn't Coke. All right, it was disgusting root beer. And I said to myself, my God, why? Why? Must good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people sometimes, and the other way is also true as well. I said that And I took other sips, and I was like, maybe maybe it's still, just give it some time. And I continued to sippy sip on my small cup, and it turned out to be just root beer, which brings me to this point, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we have root beer? Who are we making root beer for? What kind of nut jobs are ordering root beer? It's 2025. Is anybody actually drinking root beer? Because you've got all the delicious beverages, all the delicious soda pops, all the soda pop you got Coke, you got Pepsi, you got Sprite, you got Fanta, you got that strawberry shit, you got iced tea. God damn it, you got iced tea, and then you got root beer. And here's what root beer, and I know, as I'm saying this, there's a few people out there like, root beer is great, I drink root. You're absolutely psychotic. Let's just be honest. You're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind, sir. You out of your goddamn mind. If you think that with all the options available, root beer reigns supreme and you're gonna order root, it's not inherently wrong with it. I just want you to know that it's not so much the taste of the root beer, it's the aftertaste of the root beer, which is extremely close to cough medicine. And I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you just walking around thinking to yourself, you know what I'm gonna get to quench my thirst? Fizzy cough medicine. You should just be in a mental asylum. You should be in a straitjacket. You should not be allowed to roam the streets. I don't know who we're making root beer for. I'll say right now, we're probably making root beer just to suss out who are the illegals, both of the humankind and the non-human kind. Because you know some alien's gonna fucking beep bop boop drop in and want to play around and try to blend in and assimilate and collect the data, and that's how you catch them. If you see anybody sipping on root beer, bang, 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 alerts should be going off, sirens should be going off, alerts should be popping on your phone. Look out for the alien drinking fucking root beer. Root beer. Fizzy cough medicine. It is the most disgusting. Now, did I finish it? Yes, because I paid for it and I hate to waste monies and foods and whatnot. But nonetheless, I was just a little bit ticked off and I had to get it off my chest. Now, everything is fine. I guess big pick energy, everything is fine. Now I get to appreciate next time I get that small Coke. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to doubly enjoy, I'm going to triply enjoy it. You know what I'm talking about. Fucking thrice the excitement, thrice the action. Put it in my mouth and get the old Coca-Cola action going on. Oh yeah, yes, sauce. One recipe for life. But it is what it is. And that's the thing. Now you got to make a decision. I'm not the type of person who's going to make the round trip and go back in the old drive-through lane, just be like, you made a mistake with my. I'm not going to do that. People who do that are, unless there's like a giant significant mistake, it's just a completely wrong order. Even then, if it's some variation of chicken and or beef with bacon and I'll take it, whatever. I'm not a big picky. I'm not a go back in line guy. I'm not that guy. I'm one of those guys that, I don't even go to restaurants often, but if people do make a mistake, if it's, let's, you know what it is? It was meant to be. Unless it's severely wrong, unless you ask for something, you get something extremely off-putting, you're like, I don't even know what this is. But that rarely happens. Just a little bit of, personal life shit, but we all go through it. So this is us just, out here touching base and saying to one another that it is okay. Those fries will make their way back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What else is going on? I just wanted to make a little bit of a declaration. I've noticed something within myself that sometimes you gotta ask yourself, what is it that I can do and what is it that I can't do? And one thing that I realized I wouldn't be able to do, I just literally wouldn't be able to do this. Women's beach volleyball, I'd never be able to judge these games. I'd never be able to, if there was a shortage of judges, it'd be like, oh, the women's beach volleyball games are going on. It's the annual women's beach volleyball. We need some judges to come in here and judge these. I'd never be able to do it, ladies. I'm sorry. Women's beach volleyball, are you kidding me? Have you seen? These are physical specimens, goddesses walking around in the beautiful tiny bikinis, bouncing up and down, spiking balls. Can a man ask for more? Who would I be able? I can't decide. Is it in or is it out? I don't know. Ladies, what are we even arguing about? Plenty of space for us to all play. Let's just toss it over the net again. Let's just jump up and down. Who knows what the score is, ladies? Let's just stick an index finger in the back of the old panties and make sure it's not wedged, or if it should be wedged deeper. Who knows? The questions that we'll never have the answers for. Nonetheless, I'm just saying, it's one of those, I realize this game's either never gonna stop. It's gonna be the most longest volleyball game you've ever seen here, because they'll be just going like 1,572 points for one team and 1,300. It'll just be a long ass game, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I don't know how they do. I'm not even paid attention. I don't even know if there are any male judges in the women's beach volleyball, because every time I've got a glance, I've only ever looked at the players, ever. I don't even know why do we even count? Why do we even keep score? Are we not all, ladies, are we not all winners in this beautiful game of beach volleyball? God damn. It is just magnificent. And it's just that season. I hope for women's beach volleyball specifically to thrive. And I hope to catch more games in the future. Hopefully some in person as a spectator, not as a judge. God. Not as a judge, just as a fan. It's one of those things that I noticed about myself. There's not many things that I'll say I won't be able to do. That's one job that I'll say with that's fine. Admit the things that I can't do it. I won't. Push me in a corner. Put me in a corner. I'll just back up. I'll just back up in a corner and I'll watch both teams. How about that? How about I'll give ribbons and medals to everyone? How about I'll get you, anybody thirsty from both teams, just water bottles, just feeding them hoes some water just to keep them hydrated, because these ladies have got a very, very important match coming up. Team Brazil versus Team Portugal or France or the US, who cares who's playing? They're all good. They're all winners in my heart and in my eyes. Just want to say that, but it is neither here or there, and that's the way she goes. Ladies and gents, Colossal Bioscience, beautiful company that we're all aware of. I like them, you like them. They brought back the dire wolf. They're attempting to bring back the woolly mammoth. They're experimenting with woolly mice or woolly rats or woolly, hamsters that are already woolly. But nonetheless, you get it. Bring back species, and I'm for it. Now there's talks of bringing back a 12-foot tall bird, the moa bird. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The moa bird has been extinct, I believe, for 600 years, and it's 12 feet tall. This is what I'm excited about this bird. Fuck a car. Fuck we gotta get the hydrogen engine. We gotta get we gotta get this car to run on water. Plenty of water to go around for everybody. Make cars run on water. Forget that shit. Forget electrical cars, because these are emus, but bigger, essentially, and they're 12 feet. If you get one of these bad boys, you just saddle up, pardon, that's what I got to say. Saddle, I want one of these. I want one. Where do I sign up? I don't have the space for it now, but by the time they create it, I'll have some space. By then, and I'm just saying, I'm gonna get rid of the car, not gonna buy a bike or anything like that. Because, as you get a little bit older, you just become more aware of the, bikes. Oh, thank you. Maybe out in the back in the old country road somewhere, maybe down the line, who knows. But I want one of these birds. Just pull up to some hose with these birds. Room for one, yes. Climb on up and watch her just put one leg over the giant bird and just climb on. You're seeing vag in daylight, because ladies would have to lift that leg all the way. 12 feet tall. That is like two people. If they were to be 6 feet tall, and 2 people, that'd be 2 of me essentially. That'd be 2 of me, exactly 2 of me. See what you're seeing right now? 2 of this shit. That's how tall these birds are, and we're bringing them back. And I want one. There are a lot of people that own exotic pets. Keep your tigers, keep your alligators, keep your reptilias, keep all your lizards, keep the birds, whatever I want this one. Where do I sign up? I want one in pure, just black on black. That's how your boy likes it. All right, black on black. No rims, thank you. No hydraulics, none of that, razzle dazzle, none of that shit right here, son. Just the essential meat and bones and potatoes. Let's go. Oh, pull up on them bitches on the side and be like, bitch, you wanna ride on this bird? Oh, I don't know if it's got big wings or small wings, either or I'll work with it. Little wings, large fucking wings. I don't care. We're gonna be riding through town, just going, I don't know how fast they go yet, maybe probably 10, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. I don't know, I don't care, to be honest, I just want one. So thank you, Colossal Bioscience. Now, I know putting this out there, billions of people are gonna watch and be like, I want one as well. Well, too bad, because I call dibs first on the list. You pull up, you wait in line, put your name in the box, you get picked, and that's how it works. So Colossal Bioscience, I would like to just put it out there. I'm for it. I want one of these birds. I don't know what I'm supposed to feed them. We'll figure that out down the line. Thank you very much. And DM me if you like. If it's not ready yet, I get it. We'll be in contact when they do come out. I want one. Set it right. I will. It's whatever. First big check we're getting, one of these fucking birds. That's what it is. A lot of people are like, I'll buy a Rari. I'll buy a, bedazzled jeans. I want this bird. I want it. Daddy wants this bird. Oh, Daddy wants this bird. Yes. I'm gonna make him a little cowboy hat and put it on top of his little head, his little giant head. Oh, it's gonna be excited thinking about it. I think it'll be out within the next 10 years. Fingers crossed. Sooner. We'll see how it goes, ladies and gents. But if you see your boy pull up, you know what it is. Question for the family, for the syndicate out there, because these types of hypotheticals are also very much real life instances that might come up at any given time. We'll put it up and we'll see how it goes, ladies and gents. If you had to pick, and I asked myself this all day, every day for the past 24, 48 hours, if you had to lose a family member versus gain a stranger, what would you do? And I had to work it out internally, emotionally, spiritually. Ask myself, well, is it better to gain a stranger or lose a family member? Which family member are we talking about? Is it immediate family member? Is it the ones in the nuclei? Is it the nuclei family member? What are we doing? Because that's the thing, it doesn't even matter. You got to ask yourself at the end of the day, even if whether they're close or not, you're losing a family member. You're losing essentially when you're having one less person in the circle. The circle's getting tighter. The circle's getting tighter. It's gonna hard to breathe in here. That's what you'll say to yourself. More people, the bigger the circle. That's how it works. So lose a family member, it comes with its, oh man, it sucks. We lost such and such. Doesn't matter. Well, you lost a person. But at least you know what you're dealing with. The rest of the family dynamics, they might change and they probably will change and alter. But nonetheless, there's no more surprises in that sense. There's no more surprise. But with if you were to keep that same number of family members, but then get a stranger, so this is where it becomes tricky. As again, gun to the head, katana to the nutsack. If you had to absolutely pick, again, gun to the head, katana to the nutsack, to the labias, right by the ovaries, saying hola, fallopian tubes, right there. Poke, right there. You got to pick right now. Lose a family member or gain a stranger. You love your family, of course. So you're gonna most people will probably wind up keeping the family member and gaining a stranger. Now that shit is wild. We should actually make this into a game show. Lose a family member for life. Or gain a stranger, and it could be anybody. It could be a great addition to your family. It could be like a doctor or an architect or some sort of creative person. Who knows? Could be a geologist. Could be an astronomer. Could be a marine biologist. Could be anybody. Or it could be a hoodlum. It could be a gangbanger. It could be a petty thief who's not even willing to make his way up or her way up to like mid-level thievery. It's just petty thief all day, all night. So decisions. At the end of the day, gun to my head, katana to my nutsack. I'd have to roll the dice. I'll say I'll keep the family member or we'll take the additional stranger, because that is exciting. You never know what will happen. You might end up with somebody who's gonna bring a lot of positivity, a lot of that, a lot of that good to the family, or it might be somebody who is, who's like reckless, who is just, things could spiral and could spiral quick. But that is also exciting, and for the excitement factor, I'll say personally speaking, I'd like to keep the family members, gain a stranger, and we'll roll the dice like that, and we'll see how it plays out. Leave a comment if you like, and we can make it happen. We could either take away your family member or get to keep them and add a stranger to the addition for life, or until you or they pass away, and then it's over. But that's just life, isn't it, ladies and gents? It is scorching hot in here. It's nice though. I like it. It's nice. You get a little bit of everybody's glowing outside. You see everybody just with a little just shimmer, a little bit of that summer shine. Oh. I was busy over the past few days. You could say that, what was I busy doing? You could do this as well. A lot of people will say, no, don't try it. You won't be able to. I'll tell you right now, I'm here to testify, if you will. You certainly can milk a giant silverback gorilla. Yes, you can milk a giant silverback gorilla. The trick is, it's actually not a trick, it's a simple routine. First and foremost, find yourself the silverback gorilla. Get up in their face and their grill. If they're eating a banana, if they're scratching their asshole, if they're about to mate, get in between, separate them. Start by grabbing its face and sticking your face right in its face. Open mouth, kiss the silverback gorilla whilst playing with the giant ape's nipples. You want to get it in the right frame of mind. So stick your tongue in its mouth, make out with it, squeeze, grab a nipple or both nipples, both as you're making out with the giant silverback gorilla. Next, take one of your hands, free it from the nipple area, stick it all the way in the gorilla's rectum, all right? You want to just go deep in there, just shove it all the way up in there, right? And you start wiggling it around, wiggling and jiggling, and you want to keep going. And then take the other hand that was on the nip as well. So now you got one hand up the rectum. Take the other hand and grab its giant silverback cock and just go to town, just like you're throwing quarterbacks. It's huge. You're just throwing balls. You're just throwing pigskins. Just keep stroking whilst fisting as well. Fisting with one hand, stroking with the other. And every once in a while, dip down, suck on a silverback nip. Continue this motion for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. And I'm telling you right now, you could easily milk a silverback gorilla. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Truth be told is that they don't want you to have fun. Truth be told, they say don't do it, but when the cameras are off, they're going out there and guess who's milking silverback gorillas? The same folks who'd have you believe that it is a dangerous endeavor to get out there and milk silverback gorillas. So I urge you, do not worry, do not contemplate, should I listen? Should I take the, should I take the advice? If you want to have it, you only get one life. If you want a silverback gorilla and you want to milk it, there's no reason as to why you should not be milking this silverback gorilla. You can even do it with the females. Now there's of course no jerking off of the old silverback peen, but there's a badge, I'm assuming. So just double fist it, DP that female silverback gorilla. Get in there. One fist up the ass, the other up the vag, and just jiggle and wiggle for about hour and 20-30 minutes, and you should get it to milk. And that's how you do it. And you can spend a little bit of time after with the animal just to reassure it everything's cool, this is just what we do. Or you can just get up and dip, because at the end of the day, they're animals. They're going to be a little bit surprised as to why you showed up, but that's how you do it. That's how you milk a silverback gorilla. So please, if anybody's telling you, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, these are just naysayers and people who'd rather just see mediocre shit and, you know, not watch silverbacks get milked. And we don't live our life like that. I don't think so. Not this gang, not this syndicate. Ladies and gents. What else is going on? I'll say this. It's extremely hot in here, which is nice. Really feel little drops of sweat just going down my back in my jeans. That is nice, yes. That is nice. What else did I want to talk to you guys and gals about? What else did we want to talk about? There's a lot. It's just actually really hot. I'm just taking a second right now to remember what I wanted to talk about. Take a little bit more time thinking about the things that you want to talk about. Silverback gorillas. Talked about that. Everybody's always rushing from one thing to the next. Sometimes you just gotta take your time. Sometimes you just gotta slow it down. Sometimes you just gotta chill for a second. I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen, researchers, archaeologists have just found size 13 shoes, ancient Roman shoes, size 13. It was a fort found in the UK, and not just one, they found a lot of these shoes, a lot of regular sized shoes, but also size 13 shoes. This is from years ago, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. So people are asking, archaeologists, scientists are now asking themselves the next obvious question, which is, if we have found size 13 shoes, these Roman soldiers who were walking around with size 13. This is baffling the scientific community. This is bringing everybody, and hopefully it'll actually be a bridging moment, if you will. One of those moments where we bridge the gap together and bring people closer together and ask the difficult questions. Once we have found these size 13 shoes, is it okay to assume and ask, is there a correlation or a causation between the size 13 shoes that belong to the Roman soldiers and potential large penises? Could they have, because you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen, in modern times, we do say, look at a man's feet and you'll know if it's big, then they might have a big peen. If it's like not that big, they might still have a big peen. But if they have large feet, chances are they might have a large peen. So the same question is still relevant. We can still all gather around and ponder and ask and debate these tough topics. Did the people of thousands of years ago, Roman soldiers who were really no different than you and I who walk this earth today, did they too have large peens if they had large shoes? Why were these shoes so large? What was up with these 8 individuals who had extremely large feet for the time? What were their diets? How often were they exercising? Or was it just for show? Did they have one guy with large feet and large shoes who also had a large peen, who happened to get all the puss in the fort? And did the rest of the men find out that large shoes may lead to more puss? And did they fake having large feet by simply wearing large shoes? How many of the 8 individual Roman soldiers actually had the large feet? And did they all have large penises? Did some have regular sized penises? Did some have extra small sized penises? These are all the questions that are getting everybody to sit around and have these discussions that need to be had. You know, you need to get to the bottom of this shit, and we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop in the field of archaeology. We're not gonna stop in the field of science and innovation. We're not gonna stop in tech. We're not gonna stop in terms of studying religious texts. We're not gonna stop and take a water break. All right, fine, we might break 4, 5, or 10, get a little snacky poo in the system, but we're not gonna stop and have lunch. Okay, fine, this might go on for days, then we will have lunch. We will take 30 to 45, so everybody can enjoy the catering that's provided to you by the organization that gets us all gathered around these sorts of topics and allows us to have these deep, meaningful discussions. And yeah, we will go all night, not all night, but late into the evening, because we all got to get back to our families. Okay, fine, not all of us have families. The ones that do will also have to remain back, and we'll go through this all night. All right, we might order Chinese. We might order Chinese late at night, because this might go on for days. This might go on for weeks. Some people will actually have to break up so-called marriages and stop attending to their kids because there are bigger issues at hand that need to be tackled today. So we will stay here as long as necessary, and we'll get to the bottom of this question. Did large feet in shoes in prior times also indicate large peens? And we will, mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care the cost. I don't care how many people break and can't keep up. I don't care how much we need to invest on this. We will get to the bottom of this. We will get to the bottom of this by sundown. Ladies and gents, there's been some news that's been not impacting me directly, but just makes me a little bit sad. It makes me a little bit like, what can we do as a global community to get together and find ways of making so that, because you've heard of all this, the tech is getting in the industries, it's taking over the jobs. Yeah. We've all heard that. But when it's actually hitting people, where it hurts the most, hitting people who are out there trying their best to just provide a goods and services to the rest of society. It just hurts because I heard of this and I'm like, we gotta do something. Autonomous narco subs have been found in the waters near Colombia. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, autonomous narco subs, right? These narco subs are getting filled with ample amounts of cocaine and getting shipped to all around the world, going undetected. Only a handful or maybe a couple of handfuls of them have been found. The rest of them are just getting filled to the gills, flying all over the waters, getting away with it, and taking cocaine from South America to anywhere in the world. And it breaks my heart because it's easy to just say, yeah, those are drug dealers. Those are scum of the earth. Those men and women who used to physically handle the goods and services. The cocaine needed to exchange many a hands. The number of hands involved in the cocaine business and other drug substances, it's getting smaller and smaller. It's getting reduced. And next thing you know, it's gonna be all autonomous. It's gonna be no more people dealing drugs and where are these jobs go? Who are we creating these autonomous vehicles, all this machinery and technology for? If the beautiful men and women who dealt cocaine can have those moments of finding a team of individuals who they can trust, spending years working together, creating a family, coming together and becoming one. Finding out somebody in the family is a rat, and having to take them out in the middle of the jungle and have them disappear. Come back to the rest of the family and explain that they were a weak link, that they were only holding them back, and that the sky is now the limit with no more rats in the organization. Having spent many years of hard work and dedication looking at the rewards and the fruits of their labor grow daily, knowing that they're doing good work, knowing that the stomping of the cane leaves mixed with the other chemicals involved in this whole process of extrapolating substances from earth, taking it to a lab, all right, creating cocaine, finding buyers, finding routes, shipping it to different locations, all right, getting cargo ships aligned, all these things, all the many people who are involved in this process, one by one, plucked, just one by one, missing. Have you seen your local drug dealer lately? No, you haven't. Because guess what? Bloop, plucked, son. Plucked, like they've been abducted by an alien spaceship. And yeah, you're like, it's happening in a different community. It's all the way down in South America. What I gotta worry about? Starts off in South America, bud. Next thing you know, it could be right in your nose, right in your community. Narco subs who are just picking up shipments and dropping off shipments. And there's robots that are putting the boxes filled with cocaine on these autonomous subs. And guess what? There's not going to be any more people living that beautiful life. What are we going to make movies about? How many narco movies have we seen and watched and enjoyed? How much do we enjoy that storyline? So please, I don't know what we got to do together, but we got to keep substances illegal. We've got to further, because these jobs are being eliminated one day at a time, and it saddens me. We've got to keep substances illegal. Whatever is legal, make it even more illegal if you can. Create more jobs for the black market and allow these individuals to have opportunities to provide for themselves and their family members. Please talk to your local congressman, talk to your local jurisdiction, talk to your constituents today, raise awareness if you can, and make sure that at least we should be working with these narco subs, autonomous narcos. It shouldn't just be all robots. Where's the human interaction? What about the time what's next? You're not gonna have a sit down. You're not gonna get a briefcase worth of, you're not gonna fill a briefcase with $1 million with unmarked 20s. You're not gonna have a sit down in a dimly lit room and pop your briefcase open. To hear that sound of silence, what used to be filling that room not too long ago was sounds of clicking of the old Samsonite, just right there. Open it up, lift the lid, 20s, all 20s. Oh, what about the pat down? Remember when you went into a room and got patted down to see if you're wearing a wire or not? Oh, remember not wearing any underwear and they told you to remove your pants and you're like, I don't want to remove my pants. They're like, well, gun to your head, you're gonna have to either remove your pants or we're gonna blow you right open. And guess what? You dropped your pants and they saw your cock. What about those interactions? What about getting a little butterfly knife and stabbing that little plastic covering on the brick of cocaine and put a little bump on a key and just sniff or rub it on your gums to see if it tastes good. How about that quality check inspection? Never gonna happen again, ladies and gents. If we keep going down this road, it's never gonna happen again. All right? So please let the people who are interested, whether it's local politicians, whether it's volunteers, whether it is your council men and women, whether it's just a postman, whether it's the local pilot, whether it's the lady who works at the mall, it doesn't matter. Just let people know is all I'm trying to say, because these narco subs that are autonomous are one day at a time taking our goddamn jobs. I do want to say this. I've been thinking about all the emerging technology that's coming about and things that we have available to us, like CRISPR gene editing. Because simultaneously, we do have a lot of nuclear bombs in and around the world. Like it's just very life-threatening. It's not a big deal, of course, because luckily thus far we've all kept a cool head for the most part. But having CRISPR gene edit, I think we should all, I want it personally, I want gene editing to, I want that cockroach gene, put it in me. Or like make the next gen, get that cockroach gene in there. Because we've all heard of this shit. The cockroach gene, at the end of the day, if the nukes should go off, if one or two should go off, or if a few should go off, the remaining species on the planet are mostly, at least in that area, are going to be cockroaches. Get that cockroach DNA. I want, sure, you're going to be, you're not going to have that human skin that is velvet smooth and it's nice to touch. You might be a little bit scaly. You might smell a little bit weird at times, but at least, you know what? It's okay to have so many nuclear bombs on this planet because at least I've got that cockroach gene. So just make like an insect and get that CRISPR cockroach gene inside you. If you're not thinking about it today, think about it for the coming generations, and perhaps put a little bit of a cockroach gene in your baby when you're making it in the lab. I just thought about that and wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, don't be coming back here, oh, I wish I put that gene and the cockroach in my baby and my baby melted in a nuclear accident or whatever. So think about that. Make your babies and make a human cockroach hybrid is essentially what I'm trying to say. Because you know what I mean? You want to always make sure you can. You don't forget all the bunkers and shit that people are building underground. Forget all that shit. You want to be overground. Underground is dark. It's damp. No thanks. Okay. Get a little bit of that cockroach in you. Roam Earth and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just giant-sized human/cockroach hybrids. It'll be hot. It'll be hot because we're changing anyway. We'll get used to it. It'll be hot. Exterior, half human, half cockroach. We'll make it work. We will make it work, ladies and gentlemen. What else is going on? I'll say this. 1,500 tarantulas were just confiscated and seized at a German airport by local authorities. It had been shipped from Vietnam. That sucks because, people used to take pride. I'd like to see, if you're gonna be trafficking animals, bringing in animals, people used to take pride in their jobs. They used to do it manually. They used to do it by themselves, physically put in the hours, put in the sweat work, put in the leg work. So yeah, it's easy to just get a box and ship tarantulas or any other insects or animals you want, but there's no fun in that. So next time you want to be transferring animals from one location to another, make it a thing of having it on your body at least, all right? There used to be a guy you'd see in in the 1920s or 50s even, just, walking through an airport. And he used to have fucking tarantulas in his pant legs. And he used to pat him down and they used to ask him to strip down. And he used to stick to the fucking script and say, you know what, I'm just a hairy man. And I'm just a hairy, he'd be covered in all sorts of little creatures. And he just says, just the way I am, little creatures just running in and out of his ear, just right there, making little noises in his mouth, coming out of his nostrils. But he stuck to the script and he said, you know what, that's my job. I'm gonna get these, blood-sucking ants from South America to Europe or whatever the case may be. But there was an actual human element involved. Putting shit in boxes and simply sending it over is no longer personal. And we need to bring this gap of, just technology and human interaction. We need to keep that gap as close as possible, because if we further this gap, everything's going to be impersonal. Next thing you know, you're not going to know who's trafficking your animals. Next thing you know, you're not going to know anybody's fingerprints on the actual product that you're getting, and it sucks because you take it for granted. Yeah, I get my tarantula shipped from Vietnam. It's gotten sent over in a box. I don't even know who I'm dealing with. Know the people you're dealing with. Please, it's very important. It's very important that we take the time and make the human interactions. Because at the end of the day, that's all we got, baby. You're only here for a limited time. It's the human interactions that count, man. God damn. But we'll do it together, one day at a time. one step at a time. Now, a lot of people do ask themselves, why is it that sucking on my own toes and chewing on my toenails, why is that such a turn on for the opposite sex? Why is it that chewing your toenails is a turn on for the opposite sex? I think it comes down to a basic science, but even further than that, I think it's something innate, something that is primal. When you see the opposite sex sitting down and sucking on their toes and chewing bits of their toenails off using nothing but their teeth, it sends a message that I am ready. It sends a primal message that says, I am grooming myself. I am getting ready for you. And for that reason, I believe it's something that can't potentially be explained by the, methods, the scientific methods. Sometimes it's just, hey man, how you feeling? Hey lady, what's going on? Oh, a toe in your mouth, chewing on that toenail. Well, I know what this calls for. A good time indeed. So is there a quote unquote logical modern explanation as to why it's a turn on for the opposite sex to be chewing their toenails and spitting it out in front of other people? Not really. Does it make sense innately? Does it somewhere deep down inside you, do you see some hot chick chewing on her toenails and saying, yes, I'll carry the milk. I'll carry the milk all day. And sometimes it doesn't need to be all logical. Sometimes it doesn't need to be all like, oh, whatever, you gotta, add the ones and the twos and carry the threes. You don't have to. Not everything needs to be so mechanical. If it feels right, it feels right. So next time, and thank you for whoever was wondering about that question, and thank you for putting it forward. Why do people find the opposite sex chewing on their toenails attractive or find it a turn on? I think it goes back, way back in our human history, in our DNA, and some things it might just be working on a subconscious level. Sometimes you might be saying, oh, well, if they're chewing on that toe, what else might they be interested in nibbling on, if you know what I mean? That lady's got a good nibble game. And you'll say that, and you'll see a guy doing the same thing and be like, oh, I don't know what it is about this man who's got his big toe in his mouth, but he's a provider, I can tell. Just slobbering all over the floor. But it's innate. Don't go looking for, the equation of it all. It just adds up. It's one of those things that just adds up. All right, ladies and gents. Lastly, I do want to just say this. It's been this whole time, if you've been with me, thank you very much. I want to say that we are just continuing one day at a time, taking our little steps, if you will, growing, learning, trying to do good, try. And that's all you can do. But I'm going to take off now, and it is Wednesday. I'm going to go off and just going to try to give back to the community the way I know how, at least one way I know how, and that is by volunteering. And in terms of where do I want to volunteer and where am I going to be volunteering, I have taken it upon myself to become a clitoris quality inspector. That's right. I'm going to go out there after I drop this video, and I'm just going to go throughout the community and taste test as much clitoris as possible out there, just checking for quality. And you're like, there's so much clit out there. How could one man possibly quality check so much clitoris? It's not something, I don't look at the large number of it. I don't put it in terms of numbers. These are people we are dealing with, all right? I don't look at it as a giant task that needs to be finished and or done or complete in one day. I think of it as something that is essentially a necessity, something that I'm willing to do, something that I can do, all right? It's not something that is like, sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, I want to do this thing or that thing. It's like, find the things that you're good at, find the things that are coming to you easily, find the things that might just be like, and it might not, to some it might not even be a big thing, a big whoop. Big whoop. Yeah. Lit quality inspector. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're all, I help a little bit here, you help a little bit over there, and together, all of us, the little helps, the little movements, the little things that we do together will just, it's droplets really that make the ocean. It's not the ocean that makes the droplets. Or it might, if you could, that could be said in reverse as well, and it still makes sense. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we're all wet. We're all wet, and I'm gonna go off. I don't know how long it'll take. Again, I don't know if I'll get through everybody. I don't plan on getting through everybody in just one day. I don't think that, I'm not even going to put a time limit on this, to be honest with you. It's just one area that I noticed that needs to be, if I could just put in a little bit of my time, who am I to like pick and choose and say what needs to be done right now and what can be, put on the back burner. I'm not gonna, so, and for anybody who's concerned out there in terms of like, you're doing too much, don't worry about me. Don't worry, I will carry on. If I need to rest in between, I've heard it all before. A lot of people are like, man, if you're going out there doing clitoris quality inspection, make sure you stay hydrated. Brother, sister, thank you for looking out. One love. I got this though. I got my coffee, I got my water bottle. I will, I'll take breaks in between, dog. I'm not gonna just get out there, and don't worry, because I want to be back here again on Friday. And this is an ongoing thing. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves, be good to yourselves, and I'll try to do the same. But I'm gonna go out there again and just make sure everything's where it needs to be. Until next time, peace out, get out of here.